Hello guys, Assalamu alaikum. I am Taiba and you are watching your own channel, Audio Visual Books. The book today I have is The Secrets of the Self by Ilama Muhammad Iqbal. It will help you to seek yourself, to promote yourself, to find new ways in your life, to give you vision and to understand what is ego, that is Iqbal's Khudi. Don't skip, please listen. To change your life and to seek the way of the heart. Let's start. Showing that the system of the universe originates in the self and that the continuation of the life of all individuals depend on strengthening the self. The form of existence is an effect of the self. Whatsoever thou seest is a secret of the self. When the self awoke to conscious, it revealed the universe of thought. 100 words are hidden in its essence. Self affirmation brings not self to light. By the self, the seed of opposition is sown in the word. It imagines itself to be other than itself. It makes from itself the forms of others in order to multiply the players of strife. It is slain by the strength of its arms, that it may become conscious of its own strength. Its self deceptions are the essence of life. Like the rose, it lives by bathing itself in blood. For the sake of a single rose, it destroys 100 rose gardens and makes 100 lamentations in quest of a single melody. For one sky, it produces 100 new moons, and for one word, 100 discourses. The excuse for this wastefulness and cruelty is the shaping and perfecting of spiritual beauty. The loveliness of Shri justifies the anguish of Farhat. One fragrant navel justifies 100 musketeers. 'Tis the fate of moths to consume in flame. The suffering of moths is justified by the candle. The pencil of the self lamed 102 days in order to achieve the dawn of a single morrow. It, its flames burned 100 Abrahams, that the lamp of one Muhammad might be lighted. Subject, object, means, and causes. All these are forms which it assumes for the purpose of action. The self rises, kindles, falls, glows, breathes, burns, shines, walks, and flies. The spaciousness of time is its arena. Heaven is a billow of the dust of the road. From its rose planting, the world abounds in roses. Night is born of its sleep. Day springs from its waking. It divided its flame into sparks and taught the understanding to worship particulars. It dissolves itself and created the atoms. It was scattered for a little while and created sand. Then it wearied of dispersion, and by reuniting itself, it became the mountains. 'Tis the nature of the self to manifest itself. In every atom slumbers the might of the self, power that is unexpressed and inert. Change the facilities which lead to action. Inasmuch as the life of the universe comes from the power of the self, life is in proportion to this power. When a drop of water gets the self's lesson by heart, it makes its worthless existence a pearl. Wine is formless because its self is weak. It receives a form of by flavor of the cup. It receives a form by favor of the cup. Although the cup of wine assumes a form, it is indebted to us for its motion. When the mountain loses itself, it turns into sand and complains that the sea surges over it. The wave, so long as it remains a wave in the sea bosoms, make itself rider on the sea back. Light transformed itself into an eye and moved to and fro in search of beauty. When the grass found the means of growth in itself, its aspiration clove the breast of the garden. The candle too concatenated itself and built itself out of atoms. When it made a practice of melting itself and fled from itself, until at last it trickled down from its own eye, like tears. If the basil had been more self secure by nature, it would not have suffered wounds. But since it derives its value from the superscription, its shoulder is guarded by the burden of another's name. Because the earth is firmly based on itself, the captive moon goes round its perpetuality. The being of sun is stronger than that of the earth. Therefore, is the earth fascinated by the sun's eye? The glory of the red birch fixes our gaze. The mountains are enriched by its majesty. Its raiment is woven of fire. Its origin is one self assertive seed. When life gathers strength from the self, the river of life expands into an ocean, showing that the life of the self comes from forming ideals and bringing them to birth. Life is preserved by purpose. Because of the goal, its carbon bell twinkles. Life is preserved by purpose. Because of the goal, its carbon bell tinkles. Life is latent in seeking. Its origin is hidden in desire. Keep desire alive in thy heart. Keep desire alive in thy heart, lest thy little dust becomes a tomb. Desire is the soul of this world of hue and scent. The nature of everything is a storehouse of desire. Desire sets the heart dancing in the breast, and by its glow, the breast is made bright as a mirror. It gives to earth the power of soaring. It is a hizr to the mosses of perception. From the flame of desire, the heart takes life, and when it takes life, all dies that is not true. When it refrains from forming desire, when it refrains from forming desires, its pinion breaks and it cannot soar. Desire keeps the self in perpetual uproar. It is a restless wave of the self seas. Desire is a noose for hunting ideals, a binder of the book of deeds. Negation of desire is death to the living. Even as absence of hate extinguishes the flame, what is the source of our wakeful eyes? Our delight is seeing taken visible shapes. The partridge's leg is derived from the elegance of its gait. The nightingale's beak from its endeavor to sing. Away from the seedbed, the reed became happy. The music was released from its prison. What is the essence of the mind that strives after new discoveries and scales the heavens? Knowest thou of what work this miracle? This desire that enriches life, and the mind is a child of its womb. What are social organization, customs, and laws? What is the secret of the novelties of science? A desire which realized itself by its own strength and burst forth from the heart and took shape. Nose, hand, brain, eye, and ear. Thought, imagination, feeling, memory, and understanding. All these are weapons devised by life for self preservation. In its ceaseless struggle, the object of science and art is not knowledge. The object of the garden is not the bud and the flower. Science is an instrument for the preservation of life. Science is a mean of invigorating the self. Science and art are servants of life, slaves born and bred in its house. Rise, Otho. Rise, Otho, who are strange to life's mystery. Rise, intoxicated with the wine of an ideal shining as the dawn, a blazing fire to all that is other than God. An ideal higher than heaven, winning, captivating, enchanting man's heart, a destroyer of ancient falsehood, fraught with turmoil, and embodiment of the last day. We live by forming ideals. We glow with the sunbeams of desire, showing that the self is strengthened by love, showing that the self is strengthened by love. The luminous point, whose name is the self, is the life spark beneath our dust. By love, it is made more lasting, more living, more burning, more glowing. From love proceeds the radiance of its being and the development of its unknown possibilities. Its nature gathers fire from love. Love instructs it to illumine the world. Love fears neither sword nor dagger. Love is not born of water and air and earth. Love makes peace and war in the world. Love is the fountain of life. Love is the flashing sword of death. The hardest rock was shivered by love's glance. Love of God at last become holy God. Learn though to love and seek a beloved. Seek an eye like Noah's, a heart like Job's. Transmute the handful of earth into gold. Kiss the threshold of a perfect man, like Rumi. Light the candle and burn Rome in the fire of the braise. There is a beloved hidden within thine heart. I will show him to thee, if thou hast eyes to see. His lovers are fairer than the fair, sweeter and comelier, and move beloved. Sweeter and comelier and more beloved. By love of him, the heart is made strong, and earth rubs shoulders with the Pleiades. The soil of Najd was quickened by his grace and fell into a rapture and rose of the skies. In the Muslim's heart is the home of Muhammad. All glory in the Muslim's heart is the home of Muhammad. All our glory is from the name of Muhammad. Sinai is but an eddy of the dust of his house. His dwelling place is a century of the Kaaba itself. Eternity is less than a moment of his time. Eternity receives increase from his essence. He slept on a mat of rushes, but the crown of Chosroes was under his people's feet. He chose the nightly solitude of Mount Hira, and he founded a taste, and he founded a state and laws and government. He passed by many a night with sleepless eyes in order that Muslims might sleep on the throne of Persia. In the hour of battle, iron was melted by the flash of his sword. In the hour of prayer, tears fell like rain from his eye. When he prayed for divine help, his sword answered Amen and extirpated and extirpated the race of kings. He instituted new laws in the world. He brought the empires of antiquity to an end. With the key of religion, he opened the door of his world. The womb of the world never bore his like. In his sight, high and low were one. He sat with his slave at one table. The daughter of the chieftain of Tai was taken prisoner in battle and brought into the exalted presence, her feet in chains, unveiled. Her feet in chain unveiled and her neck bowed with shame. When the prophet saw that the poor girl had no veil, he covered her face with his own mantle. We are more naked than that lady of Thai. We are more naked than that lady of Thai. We are unveiled before the nations of the world. In him is our trust of the day of judgment. And in this world too, he is our protector. Both his favor and his wrath are entirely a mercy. That is a mercy of to his friends and this to his foes. He opened the gate of mercy to his enemies. He gave to Makkah the message, no penalty shall be laid upon you, he who know not the bonds of country. Resemble sight which is not, though it be the light of two eyes. We belong to the Hijaz and China and Persia, and yet we are the dew of one smiling dawn. We are all under the spell of the eye of the cup-bearer from Mecca. We are united as wine and cup. We burn clean away distinctions of lineage. His fire consumed his trash. His fire consumed this trash and rubble. We are like a rose with many petals, but with one perfume. He is the soul of this society, and he is one. We are the secret concealed in his heart. He spake out fearlessly, and we were revealed. The song of love for him fills my silent reeds. 100 notes throb in my bosom. How shall I tell that devotion he inspires? A block of dry wood wept at parting from him. The Muslim's wing is where he manifests his glory. Many a Sinai springs from the dust of his path. My image was created by his mirror. My dawn rises from the sun of his breast. My repose is a perpetual fever. My evening hotter than the morning of the judgment. He is the April cloud, and I his garden. My vine is bedewed with his rain. My vine is bedewed with his rain. It sowed mine eye in the field of love, and reaped a harvest of vision. The soul of Medina is sweeter than both words. The soil of Medina is sweeter than both words. Oh, happy the town where dwell the beloved. I am lost in admiration of the style of Mullah Jami. His verse and prose are a remedy for my immaturity. He has written poetry overflowing with beautiful ideas and has threaded pearls in praise of the Master. Muhammad is the preface to the book of the universe. All the words are slaves, and he is the Master. From the vine of love spring many spiritual qualities. Amongst the attributes of love is blind devotion. The saint of Bistam, who in devotion was unique, abstained from eating a watermelon. Be a lover constant in devotion to thy beloved, that thou mayst cast thy nose and capture God. Sojourn for a while on the hero of the heart. Abandon self and flee to God. Strengthened by God, return to thyself and break the heads of the Lat and Uzza to of sensuality. By the might of love, evoke an army. Reveal thyself on the fire of love, that the Lord of the Kaaba may show thee favor and make thee the object of the text. Lo, I will appoint a vicegerent on the earth.